There's a pill version of Ozempic.
Hello, I'm Ozempic.
And I'm other GLP-1s kind of like him. Hey, did I hear there's a pill version of Ozempic?
Yep, you sure did. Ask your doctor about which FDA-approved uses of the Ozempic pen or pill may be right for you. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and learn more about Ozempic semaglutide tablets 9 milligrams and Ozempic semaglutide injection 2 milligrams.
There's a pill version of Ozempic.
Waking up exhausted, foggy, and running on empty? For me, one of the missing pieces was magnesium support. That's why I added Magnesium Breakthrough Bye Optimizers to my nightly routine. It's a powerful all-in-one magnesium complex with 7 forms of magnesium designed to support relaxation, sleep, stress response, and recovery. If you're ready to feel more rested and have a great summer, go to buyoptimizers.com/hags and use code HAGS for 15% off any order.
I like things my way, my coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the Vyvgart Hytrulo pre-filled syringe, which contains efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. It means I can inject in my space, on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART myway.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo. Brought to you by Argenix.
Hey, weirdos. I'm Alaina.
I'm Ash.
And this is Morbid.
Morbid.
Morbid. Here we are.
Hi.
This is going to be a crazy one. I just want to warn you right out the gate.
Right out the gate.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
It's going to be a 2-parter.
Love that.
There are a lot of victims in this case, and I wanted to make sure I mentioned as many as I could humanly possibly find and confirm, because I didn't want to glaze anybody over. Today we are going to be talking about the insane case of William George Bonin.
Ooh, I have not heard of this person.
Yeah, I had heard of his name.
Okay.
And he was referred to as the Freeway Killer. And yeah, we're just going to get right into it because there's a lot to talk about, so I don't want to waste any time.
Okay.
He's called the Freeway Killer, which I think there's been a few Freeway Killers.
Okay, I was going to say that because I was like, the Freeway Killer
The Freeway
or
Killer.
a Freeway
Yeah,
Killer.
sometimes they reuse those stupid names that they give people, but yeah, he's one of them. So you've definitely, I'm sure, heard of at least one of them. But William Bonin sounded familiar to me, so when I dove into this, I was like, wow, I didn't know all of this.
Okay.
He's another one of those that you're like, what?
Why were you lurking?
How? What? Yeah, it's a crazy one. He abducted, raped, tortured, and killed at least 21 young men and boys.
Oh my God.
Yes, in California. And he did this in the late 70s, early 80s.
Of course he did.
Yeah. So, yeah, they were young men, like all in their teens. He never got out of the teens, like no, but really not higher. I think maybe one of them is possibly like 23.
Okay.
That's it. But they're young.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And he's known too for never showing any remorse. He had
Ew, what a
never
fucking asshole.
shown remorse. He never apologized when he talked about it later. He was like, yeah, like I liked doing it. I don't know what to tell you.
What the
Like he's
fuck?
not sorry at all. People who knew him, and we'll get into it later, people who knew him said that he literally liked to hear people in pain. Like that's what he enjoyed. Yeah. And what's even weirder with him is he had a few different accomplices that he worked with.
Oh.
So this wasn't a Hillside Strangler. This wasn't Henry Lee Lucas and Otis Toole. He had like 4 accomplices that he like rotated through.
Damn.
So he met 4 people who
were willing
to do this with him.
Right.
That is a scary, scary thing.
That's insane.
And I can't wrap my brain around it, but it
Probably
happens.
good that you cannot
Yeah.
wrap your brain around that.
So let's take you back, shall we?
No thanks.
He was actually born in Connecticut.
Oh, like right over there.
So like right over there.
Hey, Connecticut.
Hey, Connecticut.
New England.
Yeah, you're very soothing to drive through because nothing's going on.
Maybe not anymore.
Yeah, very not. But he was born on January 8th, 1947. He was the middle child of 3 brothers.
The middle child.
He was. But I think his entire family was just a middle child because it was very bad, very dysfunctional, not a good childhood at all. Oh, okay. I'd like to preface this by saying there is a lot of talk of rape, a lot. And there's going to be talk of child molestation. Oh, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to go like details or anything, but it's going to be mentioned. So just so you know, if that's a bummer and you don't want to listen to that, we understand.
Yeah, that is a bummer.
And you know what? Here's your moment. We love you. Have a good time. Whatever you're doing today. See you next time.
Bye.
Okay, for everybody who's still here. His parents, Robert and Alice Bonin, were not great.
Okay.
Not great. Not even adequate.
Not even
really.
adequate.
They're not even fine. They're just bad. They were both definitely like really angry alcoholics. They were aggressive. They were violent. Robert in particular was very mean-tempered. He had a vicious addiction to gambling as well.
Oh.
And when I say vicious, I mean like he used every cent that family had and did not care about taking money out of his kids' mouths. That's basically horrible. He spent all their grocery money. He would spend their mortgage money. Like he did not care. And as a result, the home did eventually go in foreclosure.
I was wondering if you were going to say that.
But before that happened, he had taken so much money from that family that those kids were not clothed properly. They were hungry all the time. And eventually neighbors would see these boys just hungry and sad and like dirty, and they would help them. Like, luckily they had neighbors that would help them, but like their neighbors had to take that on.
Seriously?
Because these 2 fucking assholes couldn't take care of their own, wouldn't take care of their own kids.
You don't have to have kids.
Yeah, had the means.
It's not a requirement.
Oh yeah, and they had the means to take care of them, but they spent it in other ways. So
fucked.
These neighbors took on, which lucky for them that they had those neighbors, but like sad for these neighbors who had to take on that responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
If that wasn't bad enough, they, especially Robert, also beat his kids and his wife. So.
Oh.
They were really off to a great start here.
That's horrible.
Yeah. And from what I read, Alice often wanted the children out of the house because Robert was such a monster. So she was like, I just need to get them out of here.
Yeah.
But also they both just didn't really want to deal with them at times. Like, I don't think they were like, I don't know what they thought when they had 3 kids, like what was going to happen there, but you have to take care of them.
And it does get chaotic.
It does. So instead, they would just send them to live with their grandfather every once in a while. Like, just send them out for like months at a time.
Was he all right? That's a
no. Like, no. Nope. He wasn't. Yeah. So you would think that, like, okay, we're sending them off to the grandfathers, so this must be someone that wants to take care of them.
No.
Right? You would think that. No. He had actually molested Alice when she was young. He was a convicted pedophile.
And she's shipping her fucking kids off to him?
And she would send her 3 young children to go live with him, where he definitely sexually assaulted all 3 of them.
So she just, like, endangered her children.
Yeah, and just didn't care because she didn't want the responsibility.
What the fuck?
So all those kids were also, assaulted at their grandfather's house. So, like, this family on both sides, it's like the father is an absolute monster, and then look at the mother's side. It's like, there was nothing here.
Well, and she's a monster.
Nothing.
She knows full well that he's a fucking
100%.
pedophile, and you're going to send 3 children to a pedophile's house?
There's no love here. There's no comfort. There's no safety. There's no childhood. There's no innocence. There's nothing here.
No.
And actually, at the age of 6, she just put them all into an orphanage. Yeah.
What?
She said, like, their father was a piece of shit, so, like, she didn't know what to do.
How do you, how do you just give 3 children to an orphanage when they're 6 years old?
Yeah, just hand them over. And she just gave them to an orphanage. Now, this place was terrible and horrific, and abuse was rampant, as was the case with a lot of these places, especially at that time. And in fact, one thing that was confirmed as a punishment at this place was they would either fill sinks with water and hold your head under until you blacked out if you did something wrong, or they would just stick your head in the toilet bowl for the same effect.
Ew.
Kids. Orphans. That's what they did to them. For things like not like dropping something or staying up when the lights were supposed to be out.
This is so sad.
Yeah. So not a great start.
Like, to say the least.
His parents did get him back into their custody when he was 9 years old.
Why?
Which was probably, honestly, a lateral move at this point from the orphanage. It's really just like just going right, much of the same.
And it's like you drop your kid off at an orphanage, and then 3 years later you're
just pick him back up.
Never mind.
It's like a 3-year
like daycare stint
babysitter. That's just like what
fuck?
Like terrible babysitter.
All I have to say so far is what the fuck.
Yeah, this whole thing is gonna be what the fuck. This is a situation where like you made a monster.
That's creating a monster.
You made a monster here. Yep. I mean, there was obviously other things going on here, as we'll see. Like, he definitely has some, like, brain defects like frontal lobe defects that played into this as well. But this was
probably
like
due to
a nice little
neglect.
combo of both. By age 10, he was in a juvenile detention center because he would commit thefts. He would do, like, little petty offenses, but he would, like, steal license plates from cars at 10.
It's random.
While he was there, he was sexually assaulted by some of the older boys, and he later said one of his counselors did it to him. I mean, that's coming from him, but to be honest, like, everybody around him was doing that to him, so there's really not a lot to not believe there. But after he left that, he decided that, okay, well, the world has done this to me, so I'm going to do it to the world.
It's like a Carl Panzeram situation.
He truly is, like a mini Carl.
Yeah.
Waking up exhausted, foggy, and running on empty? For me, one of the missing pieces was magnesium support. That's why I added Magnesium Breakthrough Bye Optimizers to my nightly routine. It's a powerful all-in-one magnesium complex with 7 forms of magnesium designed to support relaxation, sleep, stress response, and recovery. If you're ready to feel more rested and have a great summer, go to byoptimizers.com/hags and use code HAGS for 15% off any order.
I like things my way. My coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the VivGuard Hytrulo pre-filled syringe, which contains efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. It means I can inject in my space, on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VivGuardMyWay.com. That's VYVGART myway.com. And talk to your doctor about VivGuard Hytrulo. Brought to you by Argenix.
And he basically did what he was taught. So he started sexually assaulting other boys in the neighborhood. Oh, God. And his own brothers.
Ugh.
So it was 8th grade that the home was foreclosed on when he was in 8th grade. And the family actually ended up moving across the country to California.
Oh, wow.
So he just continued the same shit there, just with new people. Mm-hmm. But the father, Robert, actually died of cirrhosis of the liver at that home not long after. So he was gone. Bye. And William got in a lot of trouble starting from the age of like 10 years old. That's really when he started just acting out, actually committing crimes and getting in trouble for it. And in California, he continued the whole theft thing. And he was also molesting boys younger than him in his neighborhood. He would literally lure them into his house like a predator. Ew. Like he would promise them like things and just bring them in. Like he was a predator. Yeah. Because that's what he learned. I mean, his father was an asshole. His grandfather was literally a predator. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and then he went to a detention center where he learned how to be a predator. Like that's all he's ever been taught.
It's all he's known, yeah.
And now he's going to use it because he himself is a monster.
Oh my God, this is horrible.
So in 1965, he graduated high school and immediately joined the Air Force.
Okay.
Now, before he left, he apparently had a high school girlfriend named Susan, which I was shocked by.
No, thank you.
And he asked her to marry him, and she said yes.
Don't do it. Girl, don't do it.
He later said he basically just proposed to her to please his mother, which is weird, because I'm like,
Strange.
You wanted to please your mother? But I think she wanted him to do something that she felt was like, quote unquote, normal.
Yeah.
And that was marrying a girl right out of high school, like a good old boy, I guess. Like,
okay.
I don't really know. So off he went to serve in the Vietnam War.
Where he learned
which
horrible things.
Was probably like not going to be great for him, but let's see.
This is just a pile on.
Yeah. So he went in there and he became an aerial gunner. And he actually was doing great. He received medals for conduct and actually saved a fellow soldier's life at one point and received an honor for that. Like, risked his own life to save a fellow soldier.
What a dichotomy.
Yes. And you would think that maybe that would give him some, like, new sense of purpose or a feeling that life is precious, but it did not. And again, Vietnam was,
there's not even words.
Because even, it's like, you would hope that maybe saving a fellow soldier would give you something to latch onto, but then the other stuff that he saw, I'm sure it was just like
a constant flux of terrible.
Yeah. Now, during his enlistment, he actually ended up assaulting 2 fellow soldiers. He literally like tied them down and raped them.
Oh God.
Yeah, at gunpoint.
Oh God.
So he already started this really like bad reign of terror. And after he was there for, I think, a 5-month tour. So in 1968, he was honorably discharged. And he was later quoted as saying that his time in Vietnam made him feel like, quote, human life was overvalued.
Okay.
So not great.
Like, who are you to decide that?
Not great. This is not going to be great. He moved back in with his mom again in Downey, which is pretty close to Los Angeles. And once he was there, he married Susan, like right away. Mm-hmm. He was not a peach to be married to.
I was going to say, poor Susan.
I know this is probably a shock. In fact, Susan later said that, quote, he told me he had this dream a lot of times. He would be in a bar alone and he would walk up to a girl who had no face. He would buy her a drink and take her to a deserted place. There he'd rape her, kill her, and bury her in a shallow grave. So she divorced his ass pretty fast, like, blink and you'll miss it fast. Like, they were married for, like,
a blip.
Yeah. So she was like, bye.
Yeah,
like,
somebody tells you they have that dream,
no,
you dip.
thank you.
You dip right out of that sitch.
So now he's pissed. He's rejected.
Yeah, because he's been scorned.
He's failed, and he's ready. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to go back to my old ways. I'm going to hunt young boys again. Mm-hmm. So he moved back in with his mother, like I said, who obviously that's not a good relationship. So we're not killing it.
No.
And he starts his spree. Now he starts abducting and sexually assaulting boys, like back to back to back. He did it to 4 young boys, like boom, 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 boom.
Oh God.
These victims were, I'm just going to say their first names, even though they're published. Like, why? Larry, William, John, and Jesus, who were 12, 14, 17, and 18 years old.
God.
He raped them all after abducting them, and then after that, he tortured all of them in various ways.
Like how?
We're going to get into some of those ways. Okay. Now, in 1969, he was 22 years old, and he was arrested. So this was shortly after those 4 boys he assaulted. He was arrested in 1969 when he was found with a 16-year-old boy in his car.
That's not
Now,
good.
he had lured this kid in and then forcibly kept him there when he tried to leave. And the kid had tried to like get out of the car. And luckily, while he was trying to get out of the car, a police officer happened to be passing by.
Wow.
And helped.
Thank God.
Now, he did tell the police at that point. He was like, I probably would have killed that boy if you would not come.
Okay, so he told the police that I would have killed him, but then he went on to like kill other people. Okay.
Now, they connected him to the other assaults. So now he was charged with 5 counts of kidnapping. And he was also charged with child molestation and some other horrific offenses like sodomy and
go to jail
like forced
forever.
sodomy and, you know, terrible things to children.
Throw away the key.
Exactly.
Throw it away.
During evaluations, he was deemed, quote, mentally disordered sex offender amendable to treatment.
Amendable to treatment.
So he was sent to a hospital for treatment.
Excuse me.
When they evaluated him further, they said he actually had an IQ of 121, which is above average.
Yeah.
He was also manically depressed and also they found damage to parts of his brain that regulate violent impulses.
I wonder what happened there.
So he does not remember, but he didn't remember, but he said that, I mean, he knows he was abused his entire life.
Yeah.
Like his parents abused him, his father abused him. Like they think some massive damage was done and he just doesn't remember it because it was probably done when he was so young.
That's horrible.
So I imagine, I mean, it was definitely his frontal lobes were fucked and like, you know, that connects to like, you know, the prefrontal cortex will kind of like signal to the amygdala, let it know that a perceived threat is something to get all pissed about. And then the amygdala will sound the alarm when a threat is near. And it will be the one to recognize it. But the prefrontal cortex, that thing, is like, whoa, 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 let me check it out. And then it reports back. So the frontal cortex is the one that's like, let me make sure that this is something we need to like fuck around with.
Gotcha.
So when that gets like
activated,
fucked up, you can't regulate what is a perceived threat, what isn't, what impulse is violent, what isn't. Like it's
so you just go off of all your impulses.
Like there's no filter, no regulation at all. There's no impulse control.
That's
and it
scary.
no violent impulses or thoughts can be regulated.
And how do you amend that?
That's a hard one to. Yeah, that's really all you can do. It's once that's
like
damaged,
intensive therapy, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean it's literally brain damage. Furthermore, when they looked him over like more medically, they saw a ton of scars on his body from childhood.
Oh God!
Like he had clearly been brutally abused. Like, and he didn't remember where most of them came from.
That's really sad.
So they placed him at Atascadero State Hospital in San Luis Obispo County. And after 2 years, they said, all right, we can't really treat him. He's unable to be treated. Like, we can't make him better.
So then you just put him into the world?
No, they said they couldn't. They were like, we can't even budge him away from, like, not being horrific. And so they were like, you just need to finish your sentence in prison because something's wrong. Like, which is smart.
But like, you have to finish your sentence? Like, how long was the sentence?
Well, and he was released June 11th, 1974, because doctors said he was not a threat anymore.
Doubt it.
They were so fucking wrong.
Clearly.
Like, so wrong.
Like, because here we are today.
Could not be more wrong. So he was released, and only 16 months after he was released, so a little over a year.
Yeah.
He picked up 14-year-old David, who his name is also his last name is also published, but I'm just going to call him David.
Yeah. He
was hitchhiking. David said he was not feeling threatened at all at first when he was picked up by William. Mm-hmm. And he said, he seemed like a cool guy. They just kind of drove and talked. He was like, I literally didn't feel threatened at all. He did not give off a bad vibe.
That's so scary.
Yeah, he never was weird, like in the beginning. And, he didn't have a face that freaked me out and blah, blah, blah. But he said all of a sudden, he started to get a little inappropriate. Like, he was saying things that were making him uncomfortable. And David was like, you know what? Can you please pull over because I want to get out?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not into this. And suddenly, William got pissed. And he pulled a gun on David.
Oh, man.
And then he drove him at gunpoint to a field.
Oh, God.
Where he brutally raped David and tried to strangle him with his own T-shirt.
What?
And it was horrific. David was screaming as loud as he could just to try to attract anyone's attention.
Yeah.
And he was just trying to beg him to not do this. And this apparently did something to William because he stopped.
Yeah.
And it's the only time he stopped. I don't know why this worked this time.
Can you imagine being
that one?
David?
Like, why did this work?
Right.
I don't know why this worked. Maybe it's because he didn't have an accomplice with him. He was not great when he didn't have someone with him.
Okay.
But he did do it. He did do it by himself eventually. So,
but maybe it was like
he just wasn't confident enough in his own sick abilities to do this. Mm-hmm. But he stopped. He apologized and then drove David home. But apparently, when he dropped him off, he looked him dead in the eyes and said, "We'll meet again." And he said that like haunted him.
Duh.
Yeah. So then he attempted to abduct, very shortly after this, he attempted to abduct another teenage boy. And this time he was caught when he attempted to run the kid over with his car for rejecting him.
What?
He was caught. And he was charged with attempted vehicular manslaughter and rape for David. He was tried for both of these crimes and sentenced to 1 to 15 years at California Men's Facility in San Luis Obispo.
Am I missing something?
Yeah.
1 to 15 years.
I was
for
like,
attempted murder and rape.
Yeah. First of all, that's a what? 1 to 15? That's a pretty big range.
Huge span there.
And also 1? He could get 1?
Like 365 days for attempting to kill a human being and literally raping somebody.
Brutally and aggressively and violently raping someone. And attempting to kill them.
Yeah.
He served 3 years.
What the fuck?
3 years. He was released October 11th, 1978.
What is the justice system?
With only 18 months supervised probation.
No, like get the fuck out
like
of
what?
here. Get the fuck out of my face with
what? What? This case, you're going to see, there was a few times where I was, and I think I wrote it down in somewhere in these notes. I was like, this is John Wayne Gacy.
It's,
he just keeps getting let go.
No, it's true. When you were talking about it in the beginning, I got the vibe of John Wayne Gacy.
So much vibes. Yeah, he's got that vibe for sure. And Definitely. He has that luck.
Yeah.
He has that, like, stupid random dude luck that just they get out of everything,
like a sweet
apparently.
talker somehow.
Now, he moves back in with his mother because like that's working out so well. So like, why don't we just keep doing that?
Yeah, let's go.
I think that's where you need to be, where like everything's going great. So he got a job as a truck driver, and he starts dating a woman, and he's like, things are cooling down. But he was not satisfied with that, obviously.
Was he gay, do you think?
That's the thing nobody really knows.
Do you think it was like internalized?
It sounds like he was very angry. And I don't know if that was because he didn't accept himself or because I'm not really, or
he may have been bi.
Or because it was, men who were being predatory to him his entire childhood. So I don't know if he was raging out against them in that way and taking the power back.
Yeah.
But a lot of people do think he was at the very least bisexual and that he was just, that's what his victim profile was, young men. All right. For sure. But nobody knows for sure. He never came out. He never discussed it. He never...
Spoiler alert, is he still alive?
He is not.
Oh.
I just did a big... So I was like, he is not. But yeah, so that's up in the air for anybody to speculate about. But at this time, this was a time when gay people were being treated abysmally. Like, not that there's been a time where they really haven't, but this was one of those like really
right in
bad
your face.
times. Yeah, like this was like way out in the open and horrible and horrible and horrible. So a lot of these murders were being blamed on like sexuality and stuff, and it had nothing to do with that had nothing to do with it. That's not it at all. It's like, but that was the main thing in all these stories and a lot of them. So it's a bummer when you read some of the old newspapers. You're like, fuck you. Like, it has nothing to do with that.
No.
So he's dating a woman. That's the other thing. That's why a lot of people are like, was he bi? Like, or was he just trying to go? I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know. But he was dating a woman. He was not satisfied with that life. He was not satisfied just being a truck driver and going to work every day and dating somebody and just going home.
Yeah.
He wasn't satisfied with anything. He needed thrills. He was definitely a thrill seeker. That was why he was doing this. It got him off. It got him happy. He liked this stuff.
Try a roller coaster.
You would think that would do it, but no.
Go to Six Flags.
So he was like, you know what? I've been sexually assaulting, boys and raping boys. And, I got to like up this a notch. So he was like, you know what? I bet torture and murder would be the thing that could really get me going.
No.
So around this time, he was hanging out with a lot of neighbors in the area. And these neighbors that he was hanging out with used to throw like a lot of parties at night. And they would have like random dudes over. So he would like float in and out of those parties. And some of these people he met were Vernon Butts, 22 years old.
Waking up exhausted, foggy, and running on empty? For me, one of the missing pieces was magnesium support. That's why I added Magnesium Breakthrough Bye Optimizers to my nightly routine. It's a powerful all-in-one magnesium complex with 7 forms of magnesium designed to support relaxation, sleep, stress response, and recovery. If you're ready to feel more rested and have a great summer, go to byoptimizers.com/hags and use code HAGS for 15% off any order.
I like things my way. My coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the VivGuard Hytrulo pre-filled syringe, which contains efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. It means I can inject in my space, on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VivGuardMyWay.com. That's VYVGART MyWay.com. And talk to your doctor about VivGuard Hytrulo. Brought to you by Argenix.
And Gregory Miley, who was 19 years old. Now, this is like right in his age group wheelhouse that he likes to hang out with. And Vernon was a magician, and he was apparently into like dark shit as well. He was like into the occult, people said. But they ended up striking up a conversation, and somehow it led to how they all were pretty into the idea of raping, torturing, and killing young boys.
Good.
Would have loved to know how that segue just flowed into that.
Yeah.
I like magic tricks, and then it just goes into that. Like,
how
what?
do you just meet like 2 other people that are as fucked up as you?
And how do you broach that subject? Like, you're literally you're just saying it and hoping that they're like
Me too.
Same. Because if they're not, then are you going to kill that person? Because you've just told them that's what you're into? Like,
Probably.
what? So I guess, like, either way, you either get an accomplice or a victim out of it? That's fucked up.
That is truly fucked up.
It's really weird. So a few nights later, so they had all talked about this and been like, yeah, like, that's what I'm into. And I guess he was saying, like, this is, like, my plan. Like, I'll hit you up when I decide to do this. And they were like, cool.
Oh.
Now, a few nights later, he met another future accomplice at another one of these parties. His name was
fuck?
Yeah,
What are these parties?
I'm saying
who was at these parties?
His name was William Pugh, and he was 17 years old. He too was very intrigued when he heard that Bonin liked to abduct, rape, beat, and murder teen boys, or that was his plan.
He's 17.
Again, how are they all in one place?
Come on.
How?
Come on.
But what he did with support from them was next buy a pea green Ford van.
I saw that.
Very creepy van.
Saw that.
He had gotten a job as a delivery driver, so he was using it for that. And he also turned it into a murder mobile. He removed the door handles in the back so that anyone inside was stuck in there with no way to get out.
Oh, fuck that.
He also placed various weapons all around the back and, like, hid them so that no matter where he was in the van, he could just grab a weapon on an unsuspecting victim.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. And it reminds me of, like, the Lawrence Bittaker, the toolbox murders, because they used to call their van, like, Murder Mac or something like that.
Shut the fuck up.
We're going to cover that one, but that one's so horrific. I mean, they all are, but that one.
Yeah, you're going to break me. There's
a transcript involved with that one that I would never read in a million years.
It's like Toy Box.
It's really heavy, but it gives me that vibes. So this is when the murders officially began. May 18th, 1979, he and Vernon picked up a 13-year-old boy named Thomas Lundgren. He was hitchhiking because, again, this is the time. It's the late 70s.
Yeah, everybody's hitchhiking.
Everyone's hitchhiking. Once they had him inside the van, he was raped, stabbed several times, and strangled. And then they slit his throat for good measure.
Jesus.
Before they dumped his body, they also removed his penis and testicles. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Now, for each of these murders, he also used a yellow nylon rope, and he would bind in all the court documents, they found ligature marks on all the victims' wrists, ankles, and necks, and sometimes would find the actual cord still attached. Wow. So they were bound while this happened. Shortly after this, he was arrested again because he was caught again sexually assaulting a 17-year-old boy. So remember, he was on probation, so he was supposed to go straight back to jail and serve the rest of his sentence, but there was a fucking paperwork error.
Isn't there always a fucking paperwork error?
Paperwork error.
Why?
And he was released before his court date. It's literally John Wayne Gacy.
There is always a paperwork error.
Like, I'm pretty sure that same thing happened to John Wayne Gacy.
It literally did. If you work in the paperwork field, stop making errors.
Yeah. Come on.
Proofread.
Come on.
Have somebody else check it out for you.
Especially in these cases, man. Paperwork's pretty fucking important here.
Yeah, but it happens all the
I know. We covered cases. Look at this.
I'm so mad right now.
Oh, yeah. And I felt this way with the John Wayne Gacy thing because everyone's like, how did that dude just keep getting out of it and keep slipping through the cracks and keep being able to do this? And this is what happened. He was able to do this because people didn't do their job.
Any good into the world. So why are they probably feel like they're getting rewarded. Like,
of course. Now, apparently one of his neighbors was the one who gave him a ride home from jail when he was released.
No thanks.
And he said to him something along the lines of, there won't be any more boys testifying against me again. This won't happen again.
I'd be like, I have to leave now.
And he meant it.
And I need to go tell the police what you've just said to
me. He meant it. He was going to eliminate the possibility that any boy would be able to ID him or tell on him again. He was ready to he was ready to continue to murder every single boy he raped.
I mean, he literally castrated somebody, so what is he not capable of?
He's a monster. Now, towards the end of the summer, 17-year-old Mark Shelton was walking to a movie theater on Beach Boulevard. Bonin and Vernon saw him and abducted him into their van. There, they tortured and raped him brutally. They used objects to do this as well. And apparently it was so horrific and brutal that his body died from going into shock.
Oh my goodness.
So they didn't actually get to control when he died, and they weren't finished. So they just tossed him out of the van because they were pissed. They tossed him out of the van in San Bernardino County, and they kept searching for another victim because they were mad that didn't go how they wanted it to go. Yeah.
What?
So they did search that day for another one. They didn't find one that night, but they found one the next day. The next day they were back out looking again, and they found 17-year-old Marcus Graves. Now, he was in the U.S. from Germany. He was actually like an exchange student over here. And he had also come for the celebration of his 17th birthday because he wanted to like just cross the country, meet people, stay in hostels, like just float through the U.S. Like he loved visiting here. And he was hitchhiking on the Pacific Coast Highway on August 5th, 1979, when he was spotted by Bonin and Vernon. They picked him up, saying they would bring him to his next stop, and instead they raped, beat, and tortured him in the van. Then they weren't finished, so they brought him to Bonin's mother's home and continued it all.
What?
He was stabbed more than 70 times.
Oh my God.
He was strangled with a yellow nylon cord, and he was bound with electrical cords on his ankles and wrists. When they had killed him after hours of torture, they threw his body into the Malibu Canyon, and he was discovered the next day.
Oh.
Now, according to William Bonin, The True Story of the Freeway Killer, by Jack Rosewood, which I'll link in the notes because it's pretty fascinating, a detective on the case later said of the victim, quote, Bonin was like a rabid dog that had gone insane and didn't know when to stop biting.
Yeah, to say that is pretty on the nose.
No, at this point, the police are not connecting any of these.
That makes sense.
And that seems to be a running theme through this whole thing.
Yeah, seems to be a running theme in
through a lot of them, but in true crime as a whole. But Bonin later said that this was actually when, in his mind, he needed to start escalating. He was like, I'm already getting
What are you escalating
stagnant.
to?
He said he felt like he was addicted to killing and torture. He said initially he just wanted as much of it as possible, but soon it just wasn't doing it for him. So he was like, as we're going to see, he brings it up a notch and adds more things that he feels are more satisfying to him. Now, at this point, he also got an apartment of his own.
Wow, finally.
Yeah, big boy. So it was close to his mother's home, but he could not, now he could host parties, have young men over, do the terrible things he was doing.
Have a murder apartment.
And he became that guy with the mustache that would show you porn and give you beer.
Ew,
Yeah.
Why are people watching porn together?
Yeah, I don't understand that at all.
Okay, John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, I can't. He has so much John Wayne Gacy
It's
vibes.
true.
It's outrageous.
Why are you just sitting around a TV watching people fuck? That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
It's
It's
so
not
weird.
a bonding experience.
I can't. Now,
Watch a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, for real.
Watch Bravo. That's a bonding
Watch
experience.
literally anything else.
Anything else.
But only days later, on August 29th, 1979, he was ready to do it again. So this victim was Donald Hayden Jr. He was only 15 years old. He was walking along Santa Monica Boulevard, and he was actually from originally Cincinnati, but he had moved to California in 1977 when his parents divorced, and his mom had moved out to California.
Oh.
So he decided to live with her. He had only lived there for 2 years.
Oh, God.
Which, like, that always bums me out, just in, like, a different way, because...
No, I agree.
Like, you go into this new place.
You're excited.
And it's like, you could be back in Cincinnati, but you're here with these assholes. And it's like, I don't know. So he was abducted after accepting a ride from Bonin and Vernon and was raped and tortured in the van for hours all night. They found evidence he had been stabbed in the genitals, neck, torso. They attempted to remove his genitals. He was burned in various areas of his body. He was beaten with bruises everywhere. His throat was slashed. He had been raped in various ways and had experienced blunt force trauma to the head before being strangled.
Oh my God, they did literally every possible means of killing somebody.
And before strangulation, he was alive for all of it.
Oh my God.
Now, after he was thrown into a dumpster off the Ventura Freeway, he was found at 11 a.m. the next morning.
Stop.
Yeah. 15 years old.
Thrown in a dumpster.
Yeah.
Like, that is somebody's child.
Yeah. It's, Less than 2 weeks later, September 9th, 1979, he went for another victim. David Murillo was 17 years old and was just riding his bike to a movie. It was Bonin and Vernon again, Vernon Butts, and they abducted him into the van and repeated the process of rape, torture, and murder. He was beaten in the head with a tire iron and strangled.
Oh my God.
He was then dumped on Highway 101, where he was found 3 days later. September 17th, so only days later, another victim, Robert Wyrostek. He was 18 years old and was also riding his bike like David Murillo. He was riding his bike to his job at a grocery store when he was seen by Bonin and Vernon. Mm-hmm. They abducted, tortured, and murdered him as well, and he was dumped along around Highway I-10. Now, November 29th, about a month later, again, this time it was a John Doe who hasn't ever been identified.
Oh, no.
He was abducted, raped, beaten, and strangled, and then dumped. Reports said his face was completely destroyed by the beating that they inflicted on him.
Yeah, I can
so it was
imagine.
difficult to even come up with a composite. They had ruined all the features of his face. Bonin himself later said this guy was 23 years old, and they did estimate he was slightly older than the normal victims. Authority thought he was between 19 and 25 years old. Okay. So it does match. But they believe he may have been homeless or just passing through because he's never been identified and he didn't get matched to any of the missing persons, people in the area.
That's so sad.
He's still not been identified.
I hope that they can somehow.
I know.
Someday.
I mean, they just got into John Wayne Gacy one like decades later.
Exactly.
Now, the very next day, 17-year-old Frank Dennis Fox was abducted, raped, tortured, and killed. He was beaten in the face and strangled. And they also found evidence that he had been bound by his wrist, legs, and neck. And he was dumped on the Ortega Highway. Then 15-year-old John Kilpatrick was abducted sometime towards the end of the year. So that was in November. And then it was like more towards the end of the year that he was abducted. He wasn't initially found to be missing until February because he was one of those kids that would go missing for a while and not talk to anybody. He was kind of like a floater. So his family didn't really think anything of it or think he was missing. At this point, they're still not connecting a serial killer, by the way. All these bodies along highways with the exact same ligature marks.
Like, guys,
they're not.
Come on.
Yeah. So in January 1980, Bonin killed someone alone. For the first time almost ever. Michael Francis McDonnell was 16 years old. He raped, beat, and strangled him, then dumped him in San Bernardino County as well. February 3rd, 1980, Charles Miranda was abducted. He was 15 years old. He was hitchhiking along Santa Monica Boulevard. This is when Bonin was with Gregory Miley, so that other accomplice. He was 19 years old. They picked him up together. They attacked him, raped him with sharp objects, and then beat him. Apparently, he said to Gregory Miley at one point, "Kid's gonna die. This kid's gonna die." Like, was just like, I don't know what to do. And I guess Miley was like, well, then why don't you just let him go? And he said, I would, but he would ID us. So we have to kill him.
What?
Now, Bonin then used a t-shirt and a tire iron, like a garrote. And he's like placed the tire iron through the sleeves of the t-shirt. And he would wrap the t-shirt around their neck and then use the tire iron as like a garrote to like tighten it.
The fuck?
And he did this while Gregory Miley jumped on his chest. Yeah. They then drove to LA and dumped Charles's body in an alley there.
This is so
brutal.
So brutal.
Yeah, it's really brutal. According to Miley, Bonin said that like as soon as they dumped Charles's body, I guess Bonin immediately was like, let's go do another one. And he was like, and Miley said like he didn't want to right away, which is like, oh, pat you on the back.
Oh, yeah.
But he said he just went with it. So the same day, immediately after dropping Charles's body in an alleyway in Los Angeles, this one's really sad. They found 12-year-old James McCabe.
No.
He was at a bus stop on his way to Disneyland.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. And he got in the van willingly because they told him they would bring him. They were like, you don't have to wait for the bus. We'll just bring you. And they did the same thing to him and they killed him. They stole money out of his pocket, money that was given to him by his older brother for his trip to Disney.
Yeah.
His body was dumped like the others near a dumpster. And Bonin was later quoted as saying, that little kid.
Waking up exhausted, foggy, and running on empty? For me, one of the missing pieces was magnesium support. That's why I added Magnesium Breakthrough Bye-Bye Optimizers to my nightly routine. It's a powerful all-in-one magnesium complex with 7 forms of magnesium designed to support relaxation, sleep, stress response, and recovery. If you're ready to feel more rested and have a great summer, go to bioptimizers.com/hags and use code HAGS for 15% off any order.
Was the easiest to kill.
Because he's a little fucking kid, you
like a child.
Piece of shit.
A literal child on his way to Disneyland.
Mm-hmm. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah. Now, in that one, I just wanted to I just want to get as far away.
He wanted to go to Disneyland.
Yeah, he was literally on his way to Disneyland.
He was by himself?
Yeah, because I guess, so what I read in a couple of things was that his parents were out of town and he was staying with his older brother. Mm-hmm. And he wanted to go to Disneyland, I guess, and that was like a normal thing. Like, kids would just go. Oh. And like, it wasn't like it is now, you know, like it was a different time.
Yeah. So
it's like, I think he was just going to Disneyland to hang out by himself. And that was not a strange thing. Yeah. They would just go and play on the rides.
Gotcha.
Because it was also definitely not what it is now.
No, of course
So
not.
I think it was more like an amusement park kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So March 14th, 18-year-old Robert Gatlin was abducted in North Hollywood. He suffered the same fate as the other victims, except he had something different done at the end. He had an ice pick jammed into his ear and throat and was strangled to death before being dumped on a freeway.
An ice pick in his ear?
Yep, and that was the first time he had done that. And throat.
What the fuck?
So March 20th, remember that was March 14th. March 20th, days later, he brought William Pugh this time with him, that third accomplice that was into this. And they abducted 15-year-old Harry Todd Turner. Harry had actually escaped from a group home, I think, like a boys' group home.
Mm-hmm. Where he was probably like being abused already.
And he was just trying to get money, like do anything he could to get money and food. And they offered him $20 for whatever. And he agreed. So they bound him with electrical cords, raped him, beat him so badly that his skull was fractured in 8 places.
Oh my God.
Bonin actually bit him several times as well.
What the fuck?
In various places. They then used the t-shirt and tire iron trick to strangle him to death and dumped him in an alley in LA, just like Charles Miranda. Now, the next victims were only days later. And they were 15-year-old Russell Dwayne Rue, and 14-year-old Glenn Norman Barker. Both had been picked up hitchhiking. They had been brutally raped, beaten, bound, and then strangled to death. And both of them were dumped along the Ortega Highway. Glenn Norman Baker also had cigarette burns in a necklace pattern around his neck.
What the fuck?
Yes. They're still not thinking this is a serial killer.
Come on, guys. Like, what were you guys doing back then?
Yeah. Like they're looking at this and being like, yeah, I don't think this is connected.
No.
Yeah, I don't think this is like one of the cops came out and was like, no, this isn't like a hillside strangler thing. It's like, come on.
It is though.
And it's like you didn't think the hillside strangler thing was a hillside strangler thing either. Like you're not batting 1,000 on these. Maybe just go in a different direction.
Give it a chance.
So also, they later spoke to his accomplices, and they all agreed that one of the things that they noticed was that the more that these victims screamed, the happier William was. So they said it seemed like his whole thing was to get the most fear, the most terror, the most pain, and the most screams out of these people.
That's really
And he would do whatever he had to do that. And that's why it kept escalating, because he wanted more and more and more. He wasn't just an ends justify the means kind of killer. Mm-hmm. You know, some of them are like, I didn't enjoy the process, but I was happy with the end result. You know,
he
loved the entire process. This was a real monster from start to finish. Now, the police may not have been willing or into seeing that there was clearly a serial killer angle here, but the rest of pretty much everyone was definitely noticing a pattern, especially reporters that were covering this case. They were like, hey, we're seeing this. Why aren't you? So days after the last few victims were found, there was an article written about the case. And it was a reporter named J.J. Maloney. He worked for the Orange County Register, and he kind of like busted it wide open.
Oh, shit.
So they did a ton of research. They talked to a bunch of like, professionals about this whole thing. And they published a story he wrote that basically called out the police department for not putting these cases together.
Good for them.
And he said, what I think is happening is the police department is scared of the public pressure that comes from saying a serial killer is out there.
Yeah.
Because once you say it, they're going to want you to catch them.
That's
and it's
very
like
true.
they're worried about that, so they're not saying it. And that's detrimental to solving the case.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're going to get a lot of pressure and you're going to get a lot of shit if you don't solve it right away. That's kind of your job.
Yeah.
Maybe the pressure
it's actually like the direct description of your job. Yeah, solving
like
the
pressure
out and solving it
should get you going. The pressure should be the thing that makes you want to solve this.
Right.
Like, what are you doing? So they were actually the ones who called him the Freeway Killer.
Okay.
They're the ones who like coined that for him. Mm-hmm. The police were pissed.
Yeah, because they just got asses made of them.
They were not happy.
But like, call it like you see it, man.
Yeah, they were quoted as saying, I think it was Captain Walt Ownby of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department said, I believe it was the Orange County Register that started all this. This has built up and created a lot of fear about a killer or group of killers, and there is no evidence substantiating any of that.
Oh, honey. Eat those words. Eat them for dinner.
They were wrong.
Eat them.
And that's where I'm going to leave you for part 1.
Yeah, good, because I need a minute.
Yeah, I think we need a little break.
Everybody needs a minute.
But so this is where we are. We are close to April of that year. Yeah. And we are no closer to even connecting these as a serial killer case. And he is just on a reign of terror. A true reign of terror.
This is like the definition of reign of terror.
He truly is. And it's this guy has been doing this. I mean, when he was 10 years old, he was already getting in trouble. Yeah. But he didn't have a chance.
No.
Like, this was no chance of this person. There's no justifying it.
And you feel horrible for younger him.
You feel horrible for younger him and his brothers.
Turn it around, man. You hate the people that did this to you, and then you become one of them? What fucking sense does that make?
It just, like, it seemed like the system failed him.
His parents failed him. His grandpa failed him.
And then he failed himself. Yeah. And it's like, there was just massive failures in every single angle of this case.
I think too, unfortunately, like, therapy was so looked down upon at that point in time.
Oh, so
different. He could have benefited so much from therapy.
100%.
But
and then, like,
it's just a different time.
Then you throw Vietnam in the whole thing, and it's like, oh man, this is just a recipe for.
It's literally like bubbling in a cauldron.
Of course, yeah, because I think he logged something like 700 combat hours or something. Wow. So he definitely saw some shit like that, and as someone who has never witnessed that kind of carnage, I can't imagine.
No.
I can't imagine what that does to somebody who isn't even going through something before that.
Right.
And hasn't had this traumatic life up to that point.
But then you know, sit there and think about, like, prisoners of war during Vietnam who also were, like, logging those same hours and then came out of Vietnam, decorated soldiers who didn't act that way and murder a bunch of people.
Oh, there's like 99.999% of Vietnam soldiers did not come back and start mass murdering people. Like, so it's like,
can't use it as an excuse.
You can't use it.
It's not an excuse.
That's the thing. It's like, how many people have these childhoods that are worse? And it's like, and somehow make it out of here. It's right. But there's no way of, like, quantifying it.
No,
you know what I mean? Like,
not.
You can't figure it out. There's no pattern. Sure, you see abuse, you see neglect, you see horrific circumstances, you see brain damage, but then you see
other people go through the same thing that don't.
There's no way to predict
brutalize young boys.
There's no way to predict it. Of course, if you don't abuse your child and you give them a loving, safe home that's a good start. Where they feel comforted and safe and loved and cared for, that is going to likely provide someone who can at least function in society. And if you are neglectful and abusive and terrible, you have a higher chance of creating a monster.
You're already starting out bad.
If we're looking at those two things, like, you should probably always choose treating your kids nicely and, like, loving them and
like, I'm gonna go ahead and say, like, definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna generalize
keep it that
here
weird.
And just say,
keep it that weird that you just, like, love your kids and you do good things for them.
Keep it so weird that you create a loving environment for your children that you chose to have.
And with that, we hope you keep listening.
And we hope you
keep
it
that
weird. Yes, keep it that weird. Love your kids.
Goodbye.
Waking up exhausted, foggy, and running on empty? For me, one of the missing pieces was magnesium support. That's why I added Magnesium Breakthrough Bye Optimizers to my nightly routine. It's a powerful all-in-one magnesium complex with 7 forms of magnesium designed to support relaxation, sleep, stress response, and recovery. If you're ready to feel more rested and have a great summer, go to byoptimizers.com/hags and use code HAGS for 15% off any order.
I like things my way. My coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the VivGuard Hytrulo prefilled syringe, which contains efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. It means I can inject in my space, on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VivGuardMyWay.com. That's VYVGART myway.com. And talk to your doctor about VivGuard Hytrulo, brought to you by Argenix.